Previously on Dream House, the roof shot up, but so did the budget.
We're like 30 grand over budget already.
And the twin pressures of building a house and starting a vineyard took a painful toll.
I felt bad.
Now the pressure is about to intensify.
You've got to be kidding me.
As Stephen struggles to wire the entire home with little experience.
He had no idea what that was going to entail.
And against the ticking deadline of a new baby.
He pushes himself until, he can't hammer anymore, and that's when he gets hurt.
Ow! The exact worst scenario that we envisioned is exactly what's happening right now.
Nearly 8 months after work began,
Color's fantastic.
the exterior painting is almost finished at Stephen and Shannon's dream house and vineyard in Northern Virginia.
Well, we still have to pick a trim color.
The darker one. This one.
Awesome. That's the one I picked.
The Mackeys are building a 4,300 square foot timber frame home
It's our first home. I can't wait. For both of us, really our first home.
that will also double as a wine tasting venue for their new vineyard.
Seeing that house go up, it's like, oh my God, we're almost there.
It's a dream they've been chasing for 6 years.
Because we put the money on that land and started the vineyard before we even got engaged.
When I think back to the very first day when Shannon turned to me and said, how do people really get to do this for a living? And I said, do you want to? And she said, yeah. I mean, what we envisioned in our head was this whole notion of a back to basics kind of lifestyle. That's absolutely why we have gone down this road. And we think we can be there in 5 years. We absolutely believe that.
But right now, the dream is running 2 months behind schedule.
This is the weekend before Christmas, so just wanted to get a jump on pulling the wire.
And all the wiring for the audio and video equipment in the tasting room must be in place before the drywall can go in.
So this is 2 video, 2 data, and 2 phone. Whether it's weddings on the weekends or corporate retreats during the week or live music performances on a Friday night, the structure has been designed to support these kind of events.
Stephen is wiring the entire system himself to save money, and he has to get the work done before their new baby arrives.
I will probably take a couple of days off of work, get out here and do a scramble and get as much of this stuff done as I can, because then I can be home with her and the baby, and then they can be drywalling this place.
And the baby could come in as little as 2 weeks.
No, they're saying by the end of the year. And Steve and I are predicting it's going to be some complete fiasco that is going to happen like the worst time possible.
I have to make sure that I test every wire. Everything has to be confirmed that it's working before they put the drywall up.
The sound system requires 4 heavy speakers.
If there's a music group performing or whatever, there's not going to be a bad seat in the house. The entire audio system and the sight lines and everything has been designed just to maximize the enjoyment of people who come here. It's just a totally unique experience. This is a part that's going to be very not fun. Good times.
But there's no money in the budget to hire a pro.
He pushes himself until, he can't hammer anymore. He can't do this anymore. That's when he gets hurt. And he's a very careful person, but he pushes things.
Just trying to screw upside down and left-handed. Kept slipping off because I'm an idiot and I measured it and I screwed it in the wrong place.
It takes all morning to install 1 speaker in the floor of the stage.
That is pretty sweet. I cannot wait to hear this bad boy.
One of the major considerations in the design of the audiovisual system was to not conflict with the look of the timber frame. By putting it in the floor, it's out of sight.
A week later,
So Merry Christmas from the Vineyard crew. We made some white wine and some red jelly.
the crew is breaking for Christmas, but Stephen is not.
It's not going to do either of us any good for me to sit at home and us stare at each other on the couch waiting for the baby to show up. Things are going pretty well at this point. Just tired, man. Really, really tired. Shannon was up all night just with cramps and contractions.
I thought, okay, wow, I think it's happening. I think today's the day.
And then Shannon taps me on the shoulder, wake up, it's time to go.
It ended up being false contractions.
I mean, I asked her this morning, do you want me to stay home? And she said, no, this isn't it. I'll be okay. So, I keep my cell phone close by.
I think he's gonna be torn. I know he's gonna be torn. He's gonna be miserable because he's gonna wanna spend time at home with us. But he knows it's up to him to get the house ready for us too.
Stuff is piling up in their tiny one-bedroom rental.
All of these boxes, it's just supplies for Vineyard, winemaking, and for the house. And baby stuff that's come along. And the next package to come home is the baby, and there's no room. There's no room. We keep telling each other the end is in sight, it's almost there.
It's starting to feel like it's our place now. I've walked through the hallways enough, it's starting to sink in. It's really gonna happen, and it's an incredible feeling.
It's like, oh my God, we're almost there. It's just so close, so close.
I'm just really, really tired mentally. It's never ending. It's 24 hours a day at this point. And then when the baby comes, we'll just figure it out. I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know how much more tired we can be.
He's stressed, and now that the baby's coming, everything's hitting at the worst time possible.
The big day finally arrives.
I'm good, I'm ready.
But the house is nowhere near ready.
I think the pressure for me and for Shannon has just increased tenfold now.
Day 233 of construction
You've got to be kidding me.
is also New Year's Eve.
So in theory, mount the box right there.
But that won't stop the audio-video work at Stephen and Shannon's dream house and vineyard in Northern Virginia.
This is supposed to be so easy. Supposed to just drill a couple of holes in the floor and put the panel in.
Stephen is wiring the entire 4,300 square foot home and wine tasting venue himself.
He needs to do it because of the financial side of it for us. We can't really have other subs do it, otherwise it's gonna cost us more money.
And he's trying to finish before their new baby arrives.
It sounds like a broken record, but this boy is a big boy, and I'm just tired.
The baby could come at any time.
With the baby coming right now, when all of this work should have been done a couple of months ago, but with the delay of the house and all of that, it's all falling right at the same time. He's anxious right now, trying to get as much done before the baby comes, so he's just racing the clock. Very organized in your wiring. Impressive.
This is a work of art.
Yes.
This is not wiring.
Right.
This is art. A-R-T.
But cutting speaker holes in the stage over the tasting bar remains a struggle.
That thing ain't even thinking about moving. Oh, it's glued. Oh, man.
He had no idea really what that was going to entail until he got in here and saw how large the projects were.
That was easy. When's the hard stuff gonna start?
6 days later, the fireplace must be installed over the large tub in the master suite.
This is where the fireplace vent is gonna poke through.
And that means cutting a vent in the freshly painted house.
This is really nerve-wracking. The vent can only go one place, and the fireplace can only go one place, and then you just have to kind of figure out the pipes in the middle. Pine. Pick it up. And step in. Perfect. Oh, yeah.
But there's no time to rest.
This has to be done today, this has to be done today.
The security cameras must be installed before the drywall can go in.
I have to get all of the wires through the walls and on the outside so that they can drywall the ceilings of the catwalk. Because, you know, once the baby comes, if I hold them up, it's gonna hold me up on the back side of them, and then that's just gonna push our move longer. God. Any delay at this point is just borrowed time.
Oh. I want him out.
It's just a really, really hard time for her. She's really worn down, and, you know, I'm really worn down from just being over here so much.
We're supposed to be rested right now, we're not.
I need to take a nap just in case tomorrow's the day. The exact worst scenario that we envisioned last April and last May when we set off to do this is exactly what's happening right now. Me being over here working, Shannon at home waiting on a baby to show up.
2 days later,
Ready?
the wait is finally over.
Your baby looks fabulous.
Great.
And the plan is we're going to give you time.
Yeah.
Time to go into labor on your own. Because I think
You're gonna be great. You're gonna be so great.
Yep.
it's going to be good.
I'm good. I'm ready. I'm sorry now if I say anything bad to you.
I'm sure I deserve it. I mean, I feel like the past several months, I just have not been tuned into this. I mean, it's been Shannon's thing, and I feel terrible about that, you know, but just made the commitment yesterday that when I walked away from that house, that I was walking away physically and mentally, you know, and this is the only thing happening in the whole world right now. And by this time tomorrow, we'll be in another room and he'll be sleeping with us, and it's just gonna be magic.
And I just can't wait to see him. Look at all that hair.
Duncan Gregor Mackey, born 4:35,
4:35.
January 11th. Yep.
Yep, and he was 10 pounds, 6 ounces.
22 inches long.
22 inches long. And he's doing great.
But now, there's more pressure than ever to finish the dream house.
It's gonna really be awful having to go back to the rental. It's gonna be hard on everybody. It is definitely not an optimal situation. I think the pressure for me and probably for Shannon has changed. It's just increased tenfold now.
And the wiring at the house still is not finished.
My little side projects seem to keep multiplying.
And living conditions are more cramped than ever.
Right now, there is just a singular focus, and that is to get this done and get moved in here.
Five days after their new baby arrived,
And he's got a full head of hair. More hair than his brother.
Stephen and Shannon's dream house and winery is hosting its first celebration.
Oh, no, no, no. No fussing. Let Mama eat. I let you eat.
I let you eat.
This is baby Duncan's first look at his new home.
Yeah, he's another monster.
And it's also Stephen and Shannon's first chance to show their friends the giant video screen over the wine tasting bar.
Wow. Oh, it's getting caught. Oops.
It'll be smoother in there.
Yeah, yeah.
That might just be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Very nice, babe. Football! Football!
But until the new house is finished, the family is squeezed into their one-bedroom rental.
Duncan, yeah, is a little noisy and, and cries a lot. And, at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're just exhausted.
Right now, there is just a singular focus, and that is to get this done and get moved in here. It is full throttle until it's over. There's just too much at stake, and no, there are no days off until we are moved in and it's done.
And before he can finish the wiring, Stephen must figure out where to place 2 flat-screen TVs around the tasting bar.
It just hangs on there. Doesn't sound right. My little side projects seem to keep multiplying, like just stuff that I didn't think about, like pulling a wire from point A to point B.
Oh my God, you got the TV up. That's pretty crazy. The bar will be here, kind of half circle, going around.
I don't think anything could be much more impressive than my new grandson.
Oh, yeah.
This comes pretty close, let me tell you, after that. It's just, you two do nice work, let me tell you.
Thank you.
But no matter how hard Stephen works, the house keeps slipping further and further behind.
We're 4 months behind schedule now.
And the schedule is about to take yet another blow.
I've been agonizing over the design of this thing for, well, 2 years, really.
The wine tasting bar at the center of the home must be built now.
The electrician said that thing has to get built because per code, they have to put electrical boxes in it. I mean, that really put the pressure on because I wasn't planning on building this until, 6 weeks from now.
All the drywall work for the entire house is on hold until the tasting bar is framed and wired.
We thought we were gonna be drywalled by now, even with the delay. My guess it's a month until we're drywalled, which will really put us behind.
And building the bar is yet another project Stephen plans to take on himself.
Especially with the tasting bar, it's gonna be the focal point. So there's no way he was gonna let anybody do that.
Basically, step 1 is to get a line on the floor to show where the base of the framing is gonna live.
I never thought of him as a shopaholic, but every time he goes to the hardware store, I'm never allowed to go with him. And whenever he comes home, there's always something with a carrying case. So I'm assuming he has this in his budget.
This is just such a central feature of the house. I just feel compelled to do it myself. I want to be able to look at it every day and know that, we designed this thing and we built it and we drove every nail.
But the time spent building the tasting bar is taking away from chores in the vineyard.
He's got stuff that's backlogged right now. We've got to prune and then get ready for the season.
I guess lurking is the best word for that. The vineyard tasks are just waiting for me. The timing thing is just what's driving me nuts.
He's just tired. Yeah, he's frustrated. He's on edge.
I'm just at the point now where I want the subs and everybody done, out, and gone. I just want this project handed over to me.
It seems like the closer the deadline, closer to the end we're getting, it seems the further away that it is.
And it all comes down to one big inspection.
What's the word?
Will Stephen's first-time job pass the test?
It doesn't feel like it's on track.
On day 272 of construction,
Oh my God, this is clean. This is great.
all of the electrical wiring is finally finished and ready for inspection.
Wow.
Good sized rooms, huh?
Yeah,
Now that they're all cleaned out.
yeah.
And bigger than what we're living in right now.
And upstairs, the wine tasting bar at the center of the home is roughed in and wired as well.
The tasting bar is definitely his one thing. He wanted it to be special.
The Mackeys' dream of running their own vineyard is coming into focus.
We're going to be open sometime end of summer, early fall. All of the marketing in there is talking about the structure and the ability to do events and performances and, the standard weddings and meetings.
Now we're starting to feel that spark of why we got into this in the first place, because we're almost there.
But before any of that can happen, Stephen's wiring must pass inspection.
The electrical work, rough-in, is done.
But Stephen has never wired a house before.
What's the word?
he passes.
There'll still be a final inspection down the road, but this was a great milestone, and it looks like we're back on track. And then right now it looks like they'll start drywalling on Thursday, Friday, so that's great.
But for now, a snowstorm is slowing things down.
I can do it with ladders. I'm not worried about that. It just can't be snow on the roof.
Sure.
Yeah, I can't walk on snow.
We're supposed to get the internet put in today, but with the snow on the roof, we couldn't get the guy up there to do the install, so we got to push that back a couple of weeks.
Every day lost is another day in the tiny rental.
It doesn't feel like it's on track.
And Shannon is home juggling both a new baby and her job as an event planner.
I think we got a job that I was trying to sell, so thank God. Help pay for the vineyard. Ideally, I would love to be working at the vineyard full-time, Stephen working at the vineyard full-time.
If I was to rewind back to May, I would have thought I would have been moved in already.
2 days later, crews are insulating the house to get ready for drywall.
Once the drywall's up, that's gonna make a huge difference. Then it's gonna really feel like we're moving ahead.
But progress means even more sweat equity for Stephen.
I'll be doing the railing in here, the ceramic tile, all the cabinetry in the kitchen, setting all the bathroom fixtures.
And sweat equity for Shannon.
We're gonna have anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 of sweat equity in this project by the time it's all over. And, you know, yeah, I can suck up a lot for a couple of months to have that.
You screw in much straighter rows than I do, just telling you now.
You can't have it all at once. I think you can have it all eventually.
Next time on Dream House.
What? I buy tools that I need to get the job done.
The tiling begins.
I mean, that thing sounds like it got rocks in it, doesn't it?
The appliances arrive.
We've got new ovens, yay!
The vineyard needs work.
This is where you really determine your yield for the next year.
Living conditions reach a new low.
I'm sitting out in the car with Duncan because that house is so small. We're hoping Tristan gets some sleep because he needs some now that he's sick.
And there's only 2 months to finish drywall, painting, and flooring.
We're out of our minds. We're completely insane.
Can they pull it off?
I just have very little faith that we're gonna get this house done on time.
Find out next time on Dream House.